Hello friends, welcome to lecture 17. In this lecture, we will study about research approach and international marketing research. So let us start with research approach. What is the meaning of research approach? Research approach means that the step which the researcher will follow for conducting the research. Okay, so it is a series of steps which the researcher follow for conducting the research. The approach of the research depends on the output which the company desires to achieve. After the research has been completed, so when this output will come up? After the research has been completed. Here we have to remember that these goals are different from the objectives of the research. So, goals of the research are different from the objective of the research. Goals of the research are managerial implication of the research, while objectives of the research are information which we need to gather through that research. Okay, so this is how goals of the research and objectives of the research are two different things. Now, research approach is a two-step process. First step is defining the problem, and second step is development of an approach to conduct the research. So let us start with defining the problem. Now, defining the problem, usually what happens that marketing managers can see only the symptoms and not the reason behind the problems. Like, for example, franchise owners are leaving the company is a symptom, okay, and not the problem. It is not a problem that they are leaving. It is only a symptom. Problem is somewhere else. So, researcher has to find out the reason for this decline. Why are they leaving this? Now, for defining the problem or this problem, the researcher needs to do, first of all, a problem audit. In this problem audit, the researcher will do a discussion with the decision makers, DM is decision maker, and then it will do a survey of the key informant who are available to him. So, in problem audit, it is required that the researcher has access to all the required information, okay? Information which is available with the company. The researcher must get an access to it, and it will help the researcher to get an insight into the problem and to address the management issue. Okay. Now, the management must inform the researcher the process which he needs to follow, because the researcher may be a part of the organization, may not also be part of the organization. So, the company has to elaborate the process which it expects the researcher to follow. Now, the problem audit will be done by the discussion with the decision makers and interviews with the key informant. First of all, we will see what is the meaning of discussion with the decision makers. Now, discussion with the decision makers will make the researcher understand the general philosophy of the company, the background of the problem. If the similar problem happened in the past too, then what were the reasons for those problems which happened, which occurred in the past, and how was it solved, how those problems were solved in the past. Then competitions and their standing in the market, this kind of a problem. And at the end of this discussion, the researcher will have a sufficient idea about the environment in which the business operates and the background of the problem. Researcher only provides the information needed to take the decision. Okay, it's a very important point. It only provides the information which is needed to take the decision. Okay, it does not tell the course of action which actually the management needs to take. But on the basis of this information which the researcher provides, the decision has to be taken by the marketing managers themselves. Okay, what they need to do is to be decided by themselves and not by the researcher. Researcher will provide the information which will help in taking this decision. So, though it is very crucial step while defining the problem, but getting time for this interaction is a challenging task. So, it looks like that this is a very important thing, but then the thing is getting time from these decision makers so that this interaction can be done it is a very challenging task. And if sufficient time could be given to the researcher, then this will be very fruitful in, defining the problem. Now, next step is experience survey, or it is also known as key informant technique. Okay. Now, most of the marketing researchers I'm talking about this point, most of the marketing researchers are population-based survey. Population is not an expert of marketing. It's a general consumer. Okay. So to complement this gap in the research, the researcher must have interviews and discussions with the senior experienced informants. These informants means these experienced people are industry experts, knowledgeable individuals from the company and from the industry. And from the industry means they may not be a part of the company also. They may be working with the company, they may not be working with the company. So these informants will provide information about the motivations to take certain action, to not take action, and trends which prevail in the market. They have a very good insight into the market. They are experienced, wise people, Two criticalities while doing expert survey. Not every expert will be willing to participate. And experts who are not part of the organization, as I have told you, they are not the part of the organization, they are the part of the industry. It's very difficult to approach them, and generally these are reluctant to participate. So getting access to these people, then getting time from them, following the protocol, because these are like, very senior people, so very well placed. This is a difficult task. So contacting the decision maker is difficult, and more difficult is to get information from the key informant which are available with the industry or the company. Now, after that, conducting qualitative analysis of secondary data is very important. Secondary data analysis is economical because it is already available. You have to only read it, okay? And a quick source of information. Yes, because it is already available. Now, during this, the researcher will study about the similar previous researches. This is a necessity, that the research has to be somehow similar in nature, similar in terms of variables, similar in terms of problems, similar in terms of any one parameter, any one factor has to be common. If that becomes common, it becomes a similar research. So, similar previous research is done in the past as well as other companies, in the same companies as well as in the other companies. Now, this will contextualize the problem with relation to its current environment, okay? Because these researches were done in the past with some kind of similarity. So, what were the reason? How the problem was sorted out? What were the actions taken by the company? What were the effect of those actions, corrective measures taken by these companies? These all will actually contextualize the problem, okay? Now, primary data should be collected only after the sufficient secondary data is being analyzed. So, first secondary data and then primary data. You must be thinking primary data is directly connected with the research. So, it should be more important, but the relevance of this primary data is somehow highly based on secondary data analysis. If this has not been done properly, we may not be able to collect the relevant primary data. Okay? Now, while defining a research problem, the researcher must keep in mind that he is defining the problem in broad general terms, which includes all the components which need to be included in it. Now, he should neither define the problem too broadly nor too narrowly. Both these ways are wrong. Like, for example, in the previous problem where the franchise owners were leaving the company, the researcher, while defining the problem, must find out broadly if they are leaving the industry or leaving the company only. So, the problem is existing with the company or problem is existing in the industry. This is very important. While the researcher should also keep in mind that he is not defining the problem as a problem with the percentage of the commissions given to the agent. Like, he should not narrow down to the extent that, if we increase the percentage, the franchise owners will continue with the company. The reason could be with the industry per se. So it should not be the broad that the researcher is going to take it to the level of industry, and it should not be narrowed down to just pinpointing one aspect of business. There should be a well balanced one. This balance is very important to be maintained. Now after that, development of an approach. Now it is the overall strategy to conduct the marketing research. It is largely dependent on the researcher's own style of working. And then it is also dependent on what are the objectives of the research. So while preparing a research, development of an approach, preparing objectives is very important. Okay. Then preparing an analytical model. Then preparing research questions. It can be just one question also, so I'll put this S in the bracket. And then preparing hypothesis. And then deciding on the information which is needed. We will discuss all these 5 points during the development of the approach one by one. So first of all, preparing the objective for the research. The researcher must prepare objectives to be achieved while conducting the research. Okay. He must base his research on some theory or theories. This will guide the researcher on how the variables of his research should be measured, and also on how research design and samples should be collected. While deciding this, if he is basing his objectives on certain theory, then directly he gets the variables and an interrelationship between the variables. So he should prepare his objectives in such a way wherein some kind of theory he is applying to. Okay. Now preparing an analytical model. Second point. This is an arrangement in which the variables are set on the basis of the analysis of the secondary data. So he got his variables on the basis of which he has prepared the objective, and then now he is arranging those variables in certain fashion, which is called analytical model. So this all detail comes from secondary data. Now this model then being tested on the basis of primary data. So on the basis of theory and secondary data, variables will be decided. Then the fashion of arranging these variables is called analytical model, and then primary data will be collected and this analytical model will be tested then. Okay. Now these models may be a verbal model, like wherein people are giving simple statements. This is also a model where people are saying something. A graphical model in which the variables are arranged sequentially. First, what leads to second one, then what happens third step, fourth step. So it can be a step by step also. This is called graphical arrangement. So simple statement will be verbal model, arrangement sequentially will be a graphical model, or it can even be a mathematical model, like regression equation, that is a mathematical model. So whichever is the way, on the basis of secondary data and the problem, we got objective, we used certain theory, got variables, we arranged variables, we got analytical model, which is to be tested through primary data. Now we will prepare the research questions. Research problem is being analyzed and then broken down into specific components. Okay. These components are called research questions. Now these questions actually narrow down on the specific information needed to solve the problem. So research questions are needed to find out what kind of specific information is needed to solve the problem. Okay. Now next is preparing hypothesis. Hypotheses are unproven probable solution to the problem in hand. These hypotheses are being tested on the basis of primary data. Now the primary data has come in scene. Okay. Till now, whether this or this, we were discussing only secondary data. And then what happens? We prepared research question. On the basis of research question, what kind of information we needed, we collected that information. Okay. And then we have got our research hypothesis. So this hypothesis are being tested on the basis of primary data. And then we conclude whether there exists a significant relationship between the variables, and if yes, then what kind of relationship? Meaning if proportional or inversely proportional, or what is the strength of the relationship. So whether these are inversely proportional or directly proportional, or if it is significant or not, or what is the strength of this relationship. All these things are done on the basis of the hypothesis which we have prepared. And last point is deciding on the information needed. Now, deciding on the information we needed, it is done on the basis of analytical framework and theoretical model, research questions and hypothesis. The researcher becomes clear about what information does he need to conduct a research. So, he also becomes clear about who can be his sources of information, and sources of information means respondent. So on the basis of all these information, he has come to know what can be the probable relationship, what information does he need, who can be his respondent, and then he can go ahead now. I mean, he has prepared, if you see, a kind of tentative plan of conducting the research, and now he can implement this plan. Okay. Now, let's come to the last topic of this lecture, which is international marketing research. International marketing research, I mean, those are conducted on the same steps as we do it in case of, domestic researches. But there is little bit difference which is there. And this difference is international population is lesser homogeneous. Homogeneous means similar kind of population. So when we talk about actually domestic population have more or less the same characteristics. So this population is homogeneous, but international population is lesser homogeneous in terms of their cultures are different, their languages are different, their buying patterns are different. You talk about India, people do more purchase during Deepavali. You talk about the USA, people do more purchase during Christmas. So this is what? This is buying pattern, okay? And economic development also. Yes, we do have developed part, richest part of the world. We have, developing part, we have underdeveloped. So that's how economic development has also been different in different part of the world. So that's how international marketing research become more complicated. Now, accessing these secondary data is also different because it is an international research. So, part of secondary data may be available with one country, part of secondary data may be available with another country. Then to contextualize both these different researches which were being done in different parts of the world with the type of lesser homogeneous population or maybe heterogeneous population is a difficult task. So, getting access to secondary data, then to make sense of this secondary data is also difficult in case of international marketing research. Now, deciding sampling frame and respondent are also tedious in international research, because how will you then justify that this percentage of people from this part of the world and this percentage of people from this part of the world? So, and then getting access also to that respondent is difficult. So, deciding sample frame and then deciding the respondents and then getting access to these respondents to collect the response, all these are difficult tasks. I'm not saying these cannot be done. These can certainly be done and people are doing it, researchers are doing it, but then comparatively it is difficult. Now, different internet penetration in different countries also pose a difficulty in collecting data. Why? Because most of the time in case of international researches, researcher does not travel from one part of the world to another part of the world to only collect data. They simply use some information and communication technology like email, social media, WhatsApp number, and then send the questionnaire to collect the information, you know. So that's how internet penetration poses a, you know, kind of problem, because there may be a country where you need more responses. Any company, travel related company, which tries to explore market in a country which is a developing part where the internet penetration is little lesser, so companies thinking that since there are lesser people who have access to internet or who travel to other parts of the world, so this is one such unexplored market which can be exploited. But then the problem is that they have lesser internet penetration, so how would you reach to this kind of a population? So this is something where opportunity is existing, but how to get access to this opportunity to exploit it is difficult. So that's how international marketing researches are very interesting. They give very good insight into the international market, and they give very good information to the companies on the market which it can explore and exploit. But then the problem is that doing these researches are tedious and problematic comparatively. Okay, so with this I am stopping this lecture here. At the end of it, I have given you few books which you can consult to get more information on the topics which I have taught you today. Thank you.